Ready,
Ready.
Happy hump day, folks. Woo!
Yes.
Head on over to the Real Daytime Instagram page today and use the hashtag GirlChatLive to make your voice heard. I'll be reading some of your comments later on in Girl Chat. And don't forget to vote for the Real to win the NAACP Image Award. Yes, we can do it.
We can do it.
For Outstanding Talk Series, head to the link below to vote. It's also on our Instagram, link in bio.
Yes. Remember, you got to vote by this Friday, so do it right now. And hopefully we will win. And speaking of winning, we just want to congratulate Doug Jones, who last night became the first Democrat in 25 years to be elected Senator of the great state of Alabama. Alabama came through. Alabama better go to those polls, okay? Now, Jones defeated Republican candidate and accused pedophile Roy Moore, and it was actually African-American voters who led Jones to victory. According to the Washington Post, 96% of African-Americans voted for Jones, making up 28% of the voters. Jones even quoted Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his acceptance speech, saying, quote, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." It's important to note that according to the New York Times, the vote was over, from over Roy Moore and Jones is only 21,000 votes. That tells you how important it is to vote people.
This is a perfect
example.
This is a perfect example because there are still people to this day, I can't believe they say this, but they say, I'm not gonna vote because everybody's voting that way anyway, so my one vote isn't gonna count. When you look at the statistics of how close it came for Mr. Doug to win, it's like 1.5%, you guys. It's ridiculous. So your one vote could shift everything.
And it wasn't only just, I want to give it up to black people, but black women. 8%.
I have the percentages. You guys,
tell them,
here's the fun fact, Black Girl Magic. Okay, so black women counted for 17% of the vote, and 98% of them voted for Doug Jones. 93% of black men voted for Doug Jones, but 98% of black women did. That is awesome.
It was trending on Twitter. But I also want to give it up to the college students that came out. You also had the white suburban women that came out and voted. So it's just a collective,
But it is great to see the younger generation making such an impact because they're going to be the ones that continue to change the world. And I think that it's awesome to see young people getting out there and letting their voice be heard and knowing that your voice and your vote does count.
I also
matters because there's still a lot of work to be done.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, black women especially, are still not taken care of and catered to by the government at all. Not even close to the power that they have. So this is that reflection to say, take care of me because I'm going to try to take care of my people. Because I care.
Well, this vote, and also I want to say to the 5 accusers that came out, it took a lot for them to come out and give their stories. So, hopefully there's some type of validation for them through this vote as well.
And some believed to be minors. To be young children.
But more importantly, I think the great state of Alabama, they voted country over party. That to me is really, really great. So it's a good story in this.
I want out there, man.
But did you see, I have to, me being a comedian, I think, he lost it when he came out on that horse. He rode a horse to the polls.
Did you guys see this photo? They actually used this photo in the New York Post cover, and the New York Post cover said, "Blank you and the horse you rode in on."
Oh, shoot.
Yes. You get it? Yes, and the horse you rode in on. That
Is
was
this
actually
1852? What are you doing?
That's funny.
You better get in your Porsche and ride on
story
to the polls. Get me up. Let me get on up in here. It's like, I bet you Doug Jones came in his a hybrid. He like that type.
I love that. Love
Okay,
it.
from the Senate race to the Oscar race, the Golden Globes are always an early indication on who will do well at the Oscars. And while many talented films and actors were snubbed when Globe nominations were announced earlier this week, one in particular is making headlines thanks to Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada, who starred in this summer's comedy hit Girls Trip, feels like the film and her co-star Tiffany Haddish didn't receive any nominations because the Hollywood foreign press refused to watch their film. Jada tweeted in part, quote, "Girls Trip was one of the most successful films this summer." And Tiff was hands down the funniest person on screen in 2017.
Fact.
How much more critical acclaim must a movie have to simply get a screening? Yet, Tiff has been asked to present at their ceremony. This isn't about shaming. This is about the need for discussion of an antiquated system. Hollywood must learn to expand its concepts of race, gender equality, and inclusion in regard to its perceptions of art across the board. However, E! News reported that contrary to Jada's claim, the Hollywood foreign press did, in fact, host a Girls Trip screening in July.
If they did host a screening, then they would know that it should have been nominated. It was a bomb film.
Okay, they say they did, so ladies,
Maybe
do
they
you
didn't
feel
like it.
Maybe? Do you feel like Jada has the right to be upset about this, though?
Well, first of all, the Golden Globes, let me remind everybody, is only made of 89 journalists, okay? That's a small group of people. And the only reason why, you know, it's a big deal is because we make the Golden Globes out to be a big deal. If y'all would start making the NAACP Image Awards a big deal, the BET Awards a big deal, which she's been nominated, and Girls Trip, if I'm not mistaken, has been nominated for the NAACP Image Awards. Those are just as important. And the movie made $100 million. You already winning.
That is huge.
That is true.
Huge.
And she was able to, you know, Tiffany is getting she's becoming a household name. That's why they're asking her to, you know, sometimes I'm saying count your blessings. I get where the sister is coming from, but you know what? It's just like this show. A lot of times we can't get people to come on our show that we want to come because they feel like, oh, well, we're not worthy yet. But you know what? This is our 4th season. We done had Idris Elba. We done had Christian Bale.
Michelle Obama.
In life, let me tell y'all something about life. In life, sometimes you dealt a certain hand. You know what you do when you dealt that hand? You play your hand, you play your cards, and you just deal with it. That's
My only issue is there obviously is a movie that can be compared to it, which is Bridesmaids.
Yes.
And Bridesmaids got all kinds of nominations and accolades, and they even got Oscar nominations. Very similar film. Not a huge difference in the money making either. So that is a little questionable. You're like, how did Bridesmaids get all of this recognition? But
like
Girls
I said,
Trip
maybe they didn't like it. It's like Ghostbusters. A lot of people didn't like Ghostbusters, and it's like it had stars, so-called stars in it. It's just, you know, like I said, deal with what I think you should always accept the people that are accepting to you. I hope that Tiffany comes to the NAACP Image Award, to the BET Award. Come on our show.
Oh my gosh.
You get a lot of accolades on our show, Tiffany.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. And Tiffany's she believes very strongly in washing your hands after you use the bathroom. I'm all about that, Tiffany.
I will never hear the end of that, ever.
But you also have to realize in that category, I want to acknowledge that in that category, which she would have probably been Best Supporting Actress, there were a good number of people, and so she probably came in 6.
Yes.
There are only 5.
Okay.
So you had Octavia Spencer, you know, you had Mary J. Blige, you had Hong Chow, who's also been nominated, you had others that were nominated. So it's like, you know, sometimes that field, especially when it comes to Best Supporting Actress, is so, it's like, it's a big field. And they have to pick and choose. So, you know, sometimes you're not going to... It's not about how much money you make. It's really about campaigning. It's a lot.
That is true. But I do have to say this, Lonnie. Get Out was nominated in the Best Comedy Musical category. I feel like, you know, there are films in that category that might be taking the spot of comedies like Girls Trip. I think Get Out should have been nominated for Best Drama.
Yeah.
Because I didn't find... Or maybe I was crazy. I didn't find Get Out funny.
Well,
I mean, it had some moments
it
in
had
it.
funny moments, but I don't think of it
comedy.
as a comedy, you guys.
I know, but it wasn't necessarily a drama. I think it was a horror movie, and so because it was a horror movie, they might have looked at it like that and said, "Well, let's at least recognize it." I don't know, because I'm not one of them 89 journalists. I'm just saying, the NAACP Awards acknowledge Get Out. I'm all for NAACP this morning.
Another thing we talk about a lot on this table, another thing we talk about is womanhood, right? We talk about the voice of women and how important it is for us to lift up one another. Yo, I have a whole different respect for Jada to stand up for her sister and to speak out in the same film to be like, what are you doing? Don't miss out on this amazing talent here. And I just love the sisterhood. I want to see that more in Hollywood.
I do too. Right? We asked you online if you thought Girls Trip got snubbed, and here's what you had to say. At TNJ11899 said, hell yeah, I saw it 3 times in 1 week, and it had me dying each time. So yes, absolutely, in my Adrian voice.
I love it.
At Miss Keisha Cox said, nah, it was good, but not great.
I'm telling you.
That's just maybe some...
You know who made Girls Trip? The same women that voted for Doug Jones. Black women made Girls Trip.
I thought it was hilarious.
It was a hilarious movie, so,
I thought it was so
we'll see
funny.
what happens.
Oh, and somebody said kind of what I said. At Music AL954 said, yes, if Bridesmaids can get Golden Globe and Oscar nominations, then so can this movie. It did well in the box office and had positive reviews, not to mention catapulted a breakout star, which is undoubtedly
This is the last
Tiffany
thing I'm
Haddish.
going to say. I think maybe what Jada is trying to do is set her up for an Oscar nomination.
Yes.
So it might be that she's making it, putting it out there.
Teeing it up.
Acknowledge her.
So that's a good move. If that's
that would be awesome.
Jada, you rock. Thank you.
That would be awesome.
Well, someone else who's trying to use their voice to make a difference is Orange is the New Black star Danielle Brooks. Danielle recently told Vogue that while she applauds women like Ashley Graham, there is still a major lack of diversity in the fashion industry when it comes to hiring plus-size or curvy models. Danielle said in part, quote, when I look at ads, I don't see faces like mine. I see skinny, white women. I haven't been given an opportunity to wear big-name designers. A lot of people won't design for me. No matter how many SAG Awards, Tony nominations, Grammy wins, it doesn't matter. So, ladies, I want to ask, do you think that Danielle has a point?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes,
Big time.
absolutely.
Yeah. In fact, as a person who had a past styling career, it is insane that at that time and even still today, the plus size availability to shop, to clothe, to just offer supply, it's limited. It's almost scarce. You ask any stylist out there if there's enough plus size opportunities or selections, it's really rare. So for Lonnie to come out here flossing like this, thank you to the designers to do it like this. It's crazy.
And if we're gonna be real, it's not just plus size. It's anything like oversized 4. Like, let's be really real. It's not just they won't give me the stuff.
Yeah.
And after I had Araya, I gained about 80 pounds. I didn't go on the red carpet a lot because I really had nothing to wear. There were no name brands that could fit me. I was like a 12 then, and I had nothing. So I had to do like highs and lows. I would get like a name brand top or something and then put it together with H&M or like Zara jeans and some killer pumps. So you have to be very, very creative, but it was frustrating.
But to find designers that actually are going to say, I want to dress you, it's nearly impossible.
I have a question for you, Gina, because this is your world. Fashion is your world. Honestly, why in 2017 do we not have more name brand designers making plus size clothing for all different types of women? Why?
Here's the reason. There is a misconception out there that plus-size clothing won't make money. Now, here's the fact. Plus-size clothing costs more money to make. For example,
because there's more fabric.
There's more fabric. And then they wonder that because you're selling a blazer for the same price at a size 4 than you are a size 14, that you won't be able to move it off the shelves. The problem is, in today's world, there are 67% of plus-size women. Do you know how many lines of clothing there are to suit those women? 18%. So you can see a big shortage.
Yeah.
Up until last year, it was $21.4 billion that was sold and made for plus-size clothing. If you do the estimations and match that 67% with the amount that could be made, you could actually reach $53 billion of clothing sold, profited. So that's where you can see the misconception.
Yeah.
And I give it up for Chris. And let's be real. If plus-size women don't see what's available out there, they're not going to shop. So you don't have supply meeting demand. So all to say, designers need to step out of that dumb mindset.
Yes.
Take the risk to suit the 67% out there.
Yeah.
And give it up to Nike, Michael Kors, Christian Siriano, Pablo Gurung, who dress, beautiful plus-size women. There are designers out there showing you, paving the way. Take the risk, dude. Don't be living like that.
Danielle Brooks is creating her own line because of that as well. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean,
Melissa
she actually sent me her pieces.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy, they send me pieces.
Yes.
Eloquy, this is what I'm wearing right now. I wear a lot of Eloquy. There are more and more, but the issue was, I think, in the past, you didn't see that many plus-size women, okay? And here again, I had to give it up to black women. We didn't care what size we was. We're going to be on TV. We're going to be in the movies. We don't care.
That's great.
And so now that's allowing other women to go, well, you know what? I don't have to look a certain way.
Yes.
It's like, let's be accepting of everyone.
Everyone.
The thin women, the big women, the petite women, the half black, half white women. Let's be... I'm just trying to include, I'm trying.
What does that have to do with my
I don't know.
All shapes and sizes.
All
Yes,
shapes,
all shapes
colors,
and sizes.
everything.